Hi, Mrs. Hensley's friends. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday today. I am going to read about a United States symbol, U.S. symbol, and we're going to read about the Liberty Bell. Now, what Mrs. Hensley needs you to get after we read the story, or you can do it now and pause and then listen to the story and then work on your paper. But you will need your Liberty Bell paper from the packet that your parents picked up yesterday or last night. Okay, so the Liberty Bell. You will need your crayons. You will need a pencil, and if you would like, you may get a marker. Mrs. Hensley got a brown marker. Brown or black would be fine, any color really, but Mrs. Hensley wanted brown because we are working on the Liberty Bell today. So Mrs. Hensley is going to read some facts about the Liberty Bell. So, The Liberty Bell by Lloyd G. Douglas. Here is the title page, The Liberty Bell by Lloyd G. Douglas. Now, Lloyd G. Douglas wrote the story, and he also took the pictures, okay? Now, this is a nonfiction book, so what does that mean? That means that it is true, okay? So it's called American Symbols, the Liberty Bell. And here we have the table of contents. And in the table of contents, it tells you things about the story, what you're going to learn in the story, and what page you can find those on. So let's say we wanted to learn about visiting. If we wanted to visit the Liberty Bell, we would go to Visiting the Liberty Bell, and we would go to page 20. Okay, so, and if we wanted to learn about the author, we would go to page 24. Okay, so we are going to read the entire story, so we do not need to know specifically what page we need to go to because we're going to read all the pages, okay? So we are going to read about the Liberty Bell. Here we go. Okay, the Liberty Bell is an American symbol. It is a symbol of freedom in America. The Liberty Bell was made in 1752. It was made to celebrate the Constitution of Pennsylvania. So we will read about that when we learn new words in the story, okay, at the back. Okay. The Liberty Bell was rung many times. In 1776, it was rung to celebrate the Declaration of Independence. And we will learn what that is, okay? The last time the Liberty Bell was rung was in 1846. It was rung for George Washington's birthday. Oh, who was born on George Washington's birthday? Mrs. Hensley. But I wasn't alive back in 1846. Okay. The Liberty Bell has a big crack in it. It does not ring anymore. It's kind of sad that it doesn't ring anymore, isn't it? The Liberty Bell has been taken around the country. Many people have seen it. An American spaceship was named after the Liberty Bell. That's pretty cool, isn't it, that a spaceship was named after the Liberty Bell. A picture of the Liberty Bell is on a coin. It is on the $50, which is worth 50 cents. We don't usually see the $50 very much. It is a coin. It is not a dollar bill. It's a $50 that is worth 50 cents, and it's bigger than a quarter. Okay, we don't see them very often anymore. Many people visit the Liberty Bell each year. It is an important American symbol. So there they are visiting the Liberty Bell. Okay, and here are new words, and here is where we're going to learn about some of those words that Mrs. Hensley talked about in the story. Celebrate means to do something fun on a special occasion. We celebrate our birthdays, don't we? Coin is a piece of metal with a picture and a number on it that is used as money. Constitution is the system of laws in a country or state that tells the rights of people and the powers of the government. Crack is a very thin break in something. The Declaration of Independence is a document that declares the freedom of the 13 American colonies from British rule. Freedom is being able to go where you want and do what you want. Liberty means freedom. Rung means made a clear musical sound. And symbol is a drawing or an object that stands for something else. Okay, to find out more, this book gives you other books that you can read about, and it gives you websites that you can go to learn more about the Liberty Bell. Okay, so about the author, it says Lloyd G. Douglas is an editor and a writer of children's books. So he writes children's books. And on the back is the index, and it tells you words that are in the story, and it tells you what page those words are on in the book. Okay? Okay, so that was The Liberty Bell by Lloyd G. Douglas. And remember, the Liberty Bell is a United States symbol, and it stands for freedom. We've already learned about the Statue of Liberty, and we've learned about the American flag or the United States flag. Okay, so now we're learning about the Liberty Bell. So you will need to get your paper that looks like this out. And the first thing I want you to do, you don't have to write your name on it because Mrs. Hensley is not going to ask for this back. You will not have to bring this back to school, okay? So I'm going to take my black marker. I guess you really didn't need a pencil unless you want to trace over it with a pencil. That's fine. I am carefully tracing over the word Liberty Bell with my brown marker. And you have to, mine is a little marker. If you don't have markers, you can use your pencil, okay? If you have markers, you can use your markers, but be very careful. Okay, so Mrs. Hensley traced over Liberty Bell. Now, for this top part up here, I'm going to need my brown crayon and my black crayon. Okay, so let's look at the Liberty Bell again, okay? Kind of hard to see. There's a little bit of a glare on it. Let me find a better picture. It's kind of a copper color. And the top is kind of a brownish black. Okay? So first of all, I'm going to color the top, and I'm going to use my brown crayon to color the very top. I want you to take your time. We are almost in first grade, so there should not be any reason Mrs. Hensley should be using Scribble Scrabble. Okay, no Scribble Scrabble. And Mrs. Hensley wants to see very neat coloring. Now, I'm not going to waste your time spending a lot of time coloring because that does waste a little bit of your time. So Mrs. Hensley's is not going to be the very best that hers could be because I want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time coloring. Okay, so like I said, Mrs. Hensley's I'm not even tracing. I'm just trying to make sure I'm being very careful to not get out of the lines, okay? Okay, so I'm doing this right here. I'm coloring all this in brown, and then I'm going to go over it with a little bit of black, okay? Just lightly color of black, not a thick color. I'm not pressing down hard. I'm just pressing down lightly, okay? Just really light, okay? So it's kind of a brownish black, okay? Okay, now I'm taking a black crayon and I'm going to color in the crack. Okay, just the crack. The crack is going to be black. Okay, and I'm pressing down kind of hard, but not so hard that I break my crayon. Okay, so I'm colored in the crack that's black. I'm going to get my brown crayon again and color the bottom of the bell. Okay. Hold on just a minute, friends. I'll be right back. Mrs. Hensley is back. Okay, so I colored the bottom of this right here. Okay, the part that where you ring the bell, but remember the Liberty Bell does not ring anymore, unfortunately. Now I'm going to get my yellow crayon. We have to make our bell look like it's a copper color. So Mrs. Hensley is coloring it yellow first. Okay, yellow first. Yellow first. Okay, be careful not to go over your black, because then you're going to get black on your yellow. If you get a little bit of black on your yellow, it's fine. Okay, because you're going to take brown and go over the bell with a brown. Okay, so there's my yellow. Now I'm going to take my brown crayon and I'm going to go over it just a little bit lightly because I need to make it look copper. Okay, I'm going to make it copper. So yellow and then a little bit of brown over it, just like that. Okay, so once you're all finished, if you want to color around the frame, you may do that if you would like. That is completely up to you. You might want to do a little bit of brown or black or yellow or whatever color you would like to do around the frame if you want. But of course, you do not have to. Okay, Mrs. Simply did a little bit of black around the frame, but you do not have to. But if you started, I would want to do all around the frame. Okay, so you may keep this. This does not need to come back in your checkout folder or your fish folder. You get to keep this at home. Mrs. Hensley does not need this coming back to school. There will be some assignments that you will need, that I will ask you to put in your checkout folder or in your fish folder to bring back to school. But this is not one of them. You get to keep this one at home. Okay, you will be assessed on some of these other symbols. Definitely the United States flag and definitely the Statue of Liberty. And Mrs. Hensley will also ask you about some of the other symbols, and this is one of them. So I wanted you to learn about the Liberty Bell so you would know that the Liberty Bell is also a United States symbol and it stands for freedom, okay? I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday. I miss you, I love you, and I will see you soon. Bye, Mrs. Hensley's friends.